A warm welcome back to my channel. My name is Donato and today's couch chat, do you like it? Yeah. This is only the second in couch chat. Thank you, Suzanne, from my previous video where I just sort of randomly said that. It says, oh, couch chat is born. So today's couch chat is, I saw a post from Matt Fox, Sweat Elite. Now, you may know that I had Matt on my podcast earlier this year. I think it was around May. Lovely, lovely man. And it was just before he was starting his training for Chicago to do his first sub 20 or attempting to go sub 20. And he did in a time of 2:19:31. So came in 29 seconds inside 2:20. Absolutely brilliant, Matt. So, but he's now set a challenge to himself for next year to race a marathon every month, or for the next 12 months. I think he's including Chicago, October, as the start of the 12 months. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. You know, I don't know if you've been watching this, but this video is not a criticism of what he's attempting to do. It's just, I'm asking for your viewpoint on what do you think? Is Matt taking this a bit too far now? You know, there's a fine line, I feel, in terms of running, racing to our best, and content creation. That's just my viewpoint. I'd love to hear from you guys below, because I do know that there are some exceptional individuals out there who do things that are quite extraordinary. I would call them outliers. And yes, here's the book. If you don't know what an outlier is, by Malcolm Gladwell. And yes, I have met Malcolm and he's signed my copy. Yes, that's right. Outliers, brilliant book. Tells you about exceptional individuals. Now, I know some exceptional individuals watch this channel. I know for a fact. Colin, you know, regularly running marathons every week along the canals around Yorkshire. Absolutely exceptional individual. Would I recommend you run a marathon every week or multiple marathons a week? No, I wouldn't recommend that. But that's what works for Colin, and it's brilliant that there are exceptional individuals. Now, Matt is doing this to see if he can improve his time. That's what he says. So he ran in October Chicago Marathon, 2:19:31. November Indy Marathon, which I think is the Indiana Marathon. Yeah, I don't. 2 hours 18. So got even better. Done a PB there. But then in CIM in December, which I think is a California International Marathon, 2:19:45. So his slowest of the three. And he said it's been different. He said he's done 7 years now, what you call traditional training, and he's got to a limit and he's now going to experiment. Now, I'm not the only one who's raised the eyebrows on there, because immediately one of the top comments from Jolly Runs mentions, I love the curiosity and experimentation, but what is wrong with looking at the best marathoners in the world for decades, the East Africans, and incorporating their methods into our training? It seems there has already been experimenting done, and now we have evidence to prove that works. And what doesn't? Now, Matt did reply saying he's done that for 7 years. As said in the post, he feels he knows a lot about that and have tried almost everything there is, and he's just keen to try something else. Another comment is PR or ER, baby. Yeah, ER I think is American for emergency. So here in the UK it's probably A&E. And he's asked for recommendations of other marathons around the world, what months. So you got things like Grandma's Marathon, Rome Marathon, Barcelona, you know, all sorts of marathons that he could do, LA. One guy said, I don't mind experimentation. How would we know otherwise? Yeah, that's it. If we don't experiment, we don't know. But there's so much content research that has already been done, as was said there originally by, I've forgotten his name now, as said by Jolly Runs. And he's an experienced marathoner as well. And I've heard this many times and I've seen it quoted by coaches, professionals. This isn't my opinion. This is what's out there, is that if you're persistently and consistently training or racing at your top end, the likelihood of you improving your times is highly unlikely. In fact, virtually nil. It's been proven time and time again, even on the Good to Go book that I'd read. Chris Yashwandan talking about Ryan Hall. He'd done that very same thing, the best US marathoner of all time, and he just kept bashing his body and getting slower and slower, thinking he had to train harder and harder to get faster. And sometimes less is more. We also understand that recovery time from a marathon, if you're racing it hard, even if you're just jogging 26 miles, it takes time to recover and adapt from that. So I'm keen to know your views of what you think in terms of Matt Fox's experimentation, as he calls it. Is it good or is it bad? Or is it, we don't really care? You know, I think good luck to Matt having a go at this. I think anyone who wants to try something to try and push the boundaries, I believe we are all stronger than we believe we are. We don't know what our limits are. However, I think in the terms of that Nike advert, where again, they've taken it a bit too far, no human is limited. Yes, we are limited. We are all limited. I'd love to be able to sprout my wings now and fly off, but no, I'm limited as a human being. We all have limits. What our limits are, though, we don't know. So the quote, we're all stronger than we believe we are, is true, but the quote of no human is limited, I believe, is a false and disingenuous quote. But that's just my view. Love to hear from you in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, listening, and I'll be producing some more couch chats as we progress, because we are coming close now to Christmas. The time of recording this is Thursday, the 19th of December, lunchtime. So, you know, what are our plans for Christmas? What are you planning to do for Christmas and New Year? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. For me, rest and recovery from the Telford 10K, but also prep, getting ready for the big race coming at the end of the year. Yes, and I'll be sharing that with you later in the coming weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. Love you all.